Hey guys, welcome back to episode 6 of Fighting Brain Rot, reclaiming critical thinking from the bottom of your feed to stop existing and start living. I'm so incredibly happy you are here with me today, and honestly, after last week's deep dive into the left brain versus right brain myth, my DMs were completely blowing up. A lot of you said that you felt so relieved to finally throw away those rigid labels, and others said they had no idea about that, about it being a myth and not an actual scientific thing. And honestly, that is exactly why we are doing this. And by the way, a quick life update: my crochet summer bag is officially finished, and I'm so excited to go to the beach with it because it is giving total beach vibes. It is just gorgeous. I just need to put a zip on it, but yeah, I can say it is finished. But today we are tackling a psychological phenomenon that I guarantee every single person listening to this has felt at least once. I'm talking about the impostor syndrome. Yeah, you've heard of that, right? You know that exact feeling, it's that nagging, quiet voice in the back of your head whispering that you aren't actually smart, talented, or capable. It's a terrifying belief that you've somehow tricked everyone around you into thinking you know what you're doing, you're great, you're doing fine, and at any moment the clock is going to strike midnight, you're a Cinderella and you'll be exposed as a total fraud. Even when I'm writing this podcast, I always feel like it's not enough. Or, for example, when I was preparing my project for school and organizing everything, I had this massive wave of anxiety because during the year I felt like I was doing a lot. But then when it was all together in a PowerPoint, I felt like it was still not enough. Like, so much work during the year and only that? Why does it feel like it's not enough? Why does it feel like I am not enough? And today we're going to break down where this concept of imposter syndrome actually comes from, connected to a fascinating psychological counterpart called the Dunning-Kruger Effect, and uncover how our current digital landscape takes a normal human emotion and weaponizes it into total brain rot. I've decided to do this because I've heard of the imposter syndrome, but I didn't actually knew what it was. Like, I know, but I don't really know. You get me, right? And to understand how we got so obsessed with this, we have to go back to 1978, when two brilliant psychologists, Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, conducted a study focusing on high-achieving women. They noticed that despite having degrees, massive career, success, and objective praise, these women consistently attributed their achievements to mere luck, timing, or just playing a character. Clance and Imes didn't actually call it a syndrome. They called it the impostor phenomenon. They viewed it as a temporary situational reaction to entering a high competitive environment where you don't see yourself represented. It's like you're the youngest in the table. Yeah, just that. But just like the left-right brain myth, the media machine got a hold of it. Pop psychology took a nuanced emotional experience and flattened it into a medicalized syndrome. And suddenly, it wasn't just a natural feeling of entering a new phase of growth. It became an internal defect, a personal flaw you need to fix by buying self-help books or scrolling through endless how to build confidence carousels on Instagram. But here is where we need to introduce our second topic for today, because it completely flips the script. To truly understand the absurdity of imposter syndrome, you have to look at its absolute opposite, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. In 1999, psychologists David Dunning and Dunning-Kruger discovered a cognitive bias that explains a lot about the current state of the internet. The Dunning-Kruger Effect dictates that people with a very low level of knowledge or skill in a specific area completely overestimate their own competence. Conversely, people who are highly skilled or knowledgeable, it's always hard for me to say this word, knowledgeable, tend to underestimate their competence, assuming that if something is clear to them, it must be obvious to everyone. And it brings us to the ultimate paradox of human intelligence, which the philosopher Socrates beautifully summarized centuries ago. I know that I know nothing. I know, everyone heard of this, but yeah. And I think it might be a great episode. I know, yeah. I think it might be great to just go into a deep dive on this. But yeah, keep going. When you experience this imposter syndrome, it is almost always a direct side effect of competence. You only feel like an imposter because you actually understand the scale and depth of what you are doing. You see the vast horizon of knowledge and you realize how small your piece of it is. The fact that you are doubting yourself is the literal proof that your critical thinking engine is turned on. So be happy, yeah. And the real frauds, they are too arrogant to ever stop and question their own abilities. So if feeling this way is just a natural byproduct of learning and expanding our horizons, why is it making us feel so paralyzed lately? I feel that. I don't know if you feel that too, but I do. And why does it feel like a constant weight on us? And the truth is, our current digital ecosystem is absolute breeding ground for this anxiety. First, we are subjected to comparison trap. When you scroll through TikTok or Instagram, you are not comparing yourself to real messy human beings. You're comparing your unedited behind the scenes footage, your existential late night thoughts, with everyone else's highly curated, heavily filtered highlight reel. You see a 16-year-old six-figure entrepreneur or a student who claims they study 14 hours a day with a perfect aesthetic desk. Your brain naturally experiences a massive cognitive glitch. It says, wow, look how effortless it is for them. I'm struggling to finish my essay. I must be a total fake. Why I'm just not like them. Why do I need to spend so many hours studying when they can just get it right at a first or second try? Second, the system profits of our insecurity. The algorithm thrives on keeping us in a state of perpetual self-optimization. If a video can make you feel inadequate, you are 10 times more likely to stay on the app, scroll for a solution, or buy a product that promises to turn you into that perfect, confident version of yourself. It turns our very normal growing pain into a monetized consumer trend. But here is the dark side of letting this brain rot take over. When you constantly accept the label of having impostor syndrome, you give up your power. You start turning down incredible opportunities, staying quiet during school debates, or hiding your art from the world because you think you aren't ready yet, that you are not good enough. And as we talked about in last week with neuroplasticity, which is, quoting the Cambridge Dictionary, the ability of the brain to form new connections and reorganize itself as a reaction to new experiences or information. Because our mind is a muscle, okay? Our minds are a muscle. You don't magically become a master at something before you start doing it. Growth requires you to step into rooms where you feel totally out of your depth. And I'm not talking about just huge things like as you know, every summer I choose a different hobby, and I spend all summer working on it so I can be a little better on it. I'm not saying being the greatest, I'm saying not really bad, just better, a little better. And I do that on the summer, and next summer I need to work on that too, still be working on that, because otherwise I won't be good. It takes consistency, and consistency takes time. The next time that quiet voice tells you that you are a fraud, I want you to change the narrative. You don't look at it as a defect. Look at it as a green light. It means you have pushed past a barrier where you thought it was a barrier. It means you care deeply about doing a good job, and your brain is actively working to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Because being the youngest in the room is not as easy and as magical as it may look. And when we feel like we are not enough, there are people who want it to be exactly where we are. And if we look at our path, I do this all the time, we have already accomplished things that we thought were far away. And if we were capable of surpassing those challenges, we are absolutely capable of surpassing the new ones, because now we're even better people. Like, we learned new stuff. We're ready for this. If this is happening to us right now, it means that we are capable of doing it. We don't need a psychological label to define our worth, and we definitely don't need to match a flawless, curated aesthetic online to deserve a seat at the table. We are all just figuring it out step by step, one page at a time, because after all, we are living for the first time, or the first time that we remember. But that's for another episode, what happens after that. Thank you so much for tuning in to this 6th episode. It means the absolute world to have you along for this journey of reclaiming our minds from the bottom of your feet. And don't forget to check out my book pages and updates over at Blooming Shelf on TikTok and Instagram. And until next week, keep questioning, keep thinking, believe in yourself, and stay curious. Kisses. Bye, guys.